Good morning. We are here with our visual podcast, and we're doing a new In Our Neighborhood. We're here with Mark Bross-Cotter,
nice
financial advisor, Vice President D.A. Davidson, Jenna Duffy, my partner in the agency, and they're going to go through some questions that kind of talk about Exchange Club and their new programs and what's going on.
Yeah, what is Exchange Club, right? What does that mean? So, Mark happens to be a longtime member of the Great Falls Exchange Club, and he has a lot of history, but he also has the best way of explaining what it is that the Exchange Club does. So can you tell me, first of all, or tell us, what does Exchange Club do?
Yeah, that is the great question.
Right.
Most people, when they hear the word exchange, they think of exchange students. That is not what we do. Not what we do at all. We're
Exchange
a local.
students are a good program, though, right?
Yeah, the exchange students, great program. Nothing against that. Just not what we do. The Exchange Club of Great Falls has been around for a long time, since 1959. So this year would be, what would that be, our 65th anniversary, so to speak?
I think so. We just got a little certificate saying something.
Oh, we did? That's so wonderful. So yeah, we've been around for a while. The National Club started in Ohio in 1912, so the organization has been around for a long, long time. So our local group is relatively small. We only have about 15 to 20 members, depending on the time period, but there is a lot that we accomplish. We have 4 major areas of service that we do here in Great Falls. Number 1 is youth achievement.
Perfect.
And in our youth program, we do basically 2 different things. We give scholarships to what we call our Youth of the Year, and that is a program in which we invite students from area high schools, local in Great Falls, and some of our neighboring communities. And we listen to them read an essay that they've written, and then they get put in a pool
And we cry.
And we cry.
I just want to say, because those essays, they're very heartfelt from the
Oh my
students.
gosh, the young men and women that we honor through our Youth of the Year program, Youth of the Month, Youth of the Year, they're just incredible young men and women. You know, we get hammered from regular media about all the terrible stuff that's going on in our world. And it's sometimes hard, I think, for everybody to have this kind of like, what's the future going to be like? And then we have these young men and women come in and speak to us, and they are the creme de la creme. They are amazing. And yes, it is emotional, because these young men and women are doing things that we're like, did they sleep? That's a common question that we ask them. Do you ever sleep? Because they're just so hard charging. So
well, and the other part of that is that we have students who have overcome huge obstacles and challenges.
That's exactly right. That's the second part of our youth program, is what we call our ACE award. ACE stands for Accepting the Challenge of Excellence. And that particular award is reserved for a young man or woman who has risen beyond some very, very difficult circumstances in their life to better themselves. So for example, a few years ago, we had a young woman who at 16 years of age had a baby. And as we know, that can be a very, very challenging thing to have a child that young.
Yes.
And she was kicked out of her house. Her parents kicked out of her house. And so she was living on her own with a baby, 16 years old, and she decided it wasn't going to defeat her. So she went back to school to get her high school degree, and then worked full time to support herself and her baby, and was a 4.0 student. And those are the type of young students in our ACE program that we like to honor. So we love our ACE program, and those are the ACE when we have our final award meeting, which is usually sometime in April. Boy, that is very, very emotional when we hear those stories from those young men or women. So, yeah. So
that's the first pillar of
that's the first pillar. Yeah, that was it. We're going to be here a while, aren't we? Yeah, right.
I know. We got to speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, speed it up a little bit. Yeah, right.
But it's very interesting. So.
Yeah. And so the next thing that we do, or the next pillar of our mission, is child abuse prevention. We partner with several of the local groups like the Dandelion Foundation,
Right.
Toby's Crisis Nursery, to help with this continuing to be a huge problem, child abuse in our community and unfortunately around the world. So we try to make sure people know that it continues to be a problem that we have to devote resources to, and we help in any way that we can, often giving money to speakers that come in for No Violence Week, and those type of things.
Right.
Very honorable.
So then the third pillar that we do is community service, just general community service. And under this particular thing, we get asked to help for all sorts of different events. And for us, our major thing is we do a firefighter of the year and a law enforcement officer of the year. We've been doing those for a long time. And it is a very, very enjoyable experience to honor a young or a man or woman who's in law enforcement or a firefighter, because of course those community services, I think, we just have to continue to acknowledge and value them, and that's what we enjoy.
Needed in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have incredible men and women that work in our emergency services. Is that what it's called?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, first responders.
Okay, and then. Go ahead. Were you going to say?
I was going to say, and your favorite, maybe not your favorite, because
well,
they're all your favorite.
Yeah, they are. You get attached
like
to all of them. And then the final one is Americanism. Americanism. That's an interesting program for us. It's not an elitist belief that America is the greatest and we got to do, but it's that we live in America and it is a great country, and that we're proud about that, and we want to promote those things that acknowledge that. We have done lots of different things regarding the flag. Like sometimes we give money to the Great Falls Realtors Association so they can buy a flag. We've also handed out flags at the 4th of July parade. And then one of the major things we do in most of the schools, high schools, junior highs, the colleges here in town, we install what's called a Freedom Shrine, which is that collection of documents that represents kind of a foundation: the Bill of Rights, the Emancipation Proclamation, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. And they all are displayed on a wall, and we install those and dedicate those to those schools. So yeah, those are our 4 areas.
Wow.
And it is a small group, a mighty group, and we're looking for new members all the time. I can say we because I'm an exchange club.
Yes.
And I'm really
Janet's are going to be our president here.
Which is a scary thought. But,
No, that's
but come anyway, because it's going to be great.
Right. It'll be just great.
Thank you.
So who do they get a hold of to join?
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, any of us.
Okay.
Anybody. But Mark can be the point person.
Yep.
I'm happy to be a point person. Terry Carafa is a strong member. I mean, there's many members.
Yeah, several people in the community.
So we'll have a little list that we'll share with our contact phone numbers. Thank you for asking.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
And if you're interested in becoming a member of Exchange Club, please reach out.
We'd love to have you.
Right.
We are very proud of our group. We do a lot of stuff with a small number of people, and it is those of us who are really connected to the organization really just love our group and love the people in it.
Excellent. Thank you. Please support the Exchange Club.